Imagine waking up to $70 million every single day. In the intoxicating world of Pablo Escobar, this wasn't a dream, it was Tuesday. Pablo was the boss of evil, really, in his world of unimaginable wealth and power, and where fortunes were made and lost before breakfast. Choosing between a bribe or a bullet was your everyday chore. It's a tale so twisted, it makes fiction blush. I'm Eric, in your own Curiosity Corner. In the verdant hills of Rio Negro, Colombia, a boy named Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born. To the world, he would later become known as the most powerful drug lord in history. Like all stories, we begin at the beginning. What forces shaped young Pablo into the kingpin he would become? Growing up, Pablo experienced a Colombia rife with disparity, but poverty wasn't his sole teacher. Ambition, opportunity, and a keen observation revealed his path early on. You see, our surroundings mold us, but our choices define us. What choices, you ask? Hold on to that question, dear viewer. That is where our journey truly begins. Medellin, the 1970s, a city alive with promise and pulsating with a rhythm of its own. For young Pablo, this was his playground, his kingdom. But it was also a city of contrasts, wealth and poverty, power and powerlessness. It was within these dichotomies that Escobar spied an opportunity. The cocaine trade wasn't born overnight, nor did it grow in isolation. It was fostered, nurtured, and escalated by those who saw its potential. And nobody saw its potential quite like Pablo. With his strategic alliances, ruthless ambition, and an almost uncanny ability to be at the right place at the right time, he didn't just join the trade, he became the trade. Money flowed, power consolidated, and Pablo Escobar's name became synonymous with fear and admiration. But at what cost? As the saying goes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Just how heavy we're about to uncover. Brace yourselves, viewer. The Empire of Fear is next. And trust me, it's a descent you won't want to miss. Empire of Fear, not just a dramatic title for our segment, but a harsh reality for many Colombians during Escobar's peak. An empire built on white powder wouldn't maintain itself with pleasantries. For every mansion Escobar built, a family was torn apart. For every lavish party he threw, a city street ran red. Many believe the terror was just business, but the lines between personal vendetta and professional strategy blurred. Perhaps they were one and the same. Plata or plomo, meaning silver or lead, bribe or bullet. It was a simple choice offered to those who stood in his way. Accept a bribe or face a bullet. The question, however, isn't why he did it. The question we must grapple with is, how did society let it reach this point? But wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Intertwined with his reign of terror was a foray into the very heart of Colombia's political arena. And viewers, if you think politics is just a game of suits and speeches, prepare for a rude awakening. No! It is said that in politics, there are no permanent friends or enemies, only interests. And Escobar, ever the opportunist, knew this all too well. At the height of his power, he didn't just want to control the underworld. He wanted legitimacy. He wanted the presidency. It's a surreal image, isn't it? The most notorious drug lord on a political campaign trail. But for Pablo, he was just another runner to conquer. With vast wealth at his disposal, he could buy loyalty, silence critics, and make political moves that seemed almost absurd. How did this happen? Was it merely Pablo's charisma, or was it the failure of a system? Perhaps a bit of both. But remember, in the grand chessboard of politics, every move has a counter move, and those counter began to gather momentum, both domestically and internationally. The cat and mouse game was about to get intense. And while you might think you know where this story is headed, let's just say that between the shadows of Medellin's alleyways and Washington's corridors, many tales remain untold. Are you intrigued yet? I promise what follows is even more captivating. Amidst this sprawling empire and political ambitions, there are personal, heart-wrenching, and deeply human stories. For every headline Escobar made, there were countless untold tales of those affected by his reign. Maria, a mother who lost a son in a bombing meant for a rival cartel member. Or Luis, once a loyal soldier of the Medellin Cartel, now forever haunted by his past. These aren't just footnotes, these are stories that defined an era. The magnitude of Escobar's action had far-reaching consequences. Communities destroyed, generations scarred, yet resilience emerged. Stories of hope, courage, and defiance began to take shape. Hold on to the glimmer of hope, dear viewer, as we venture deeper into this labyrinth. You'll find tales of darkness and redemption. But first, do you ever wonder how far Escobar's influence truly reached? The global stage is inviting, and you might be surprised at some of the players. Now, you might be sitting cozy in your living room, or perhaps on a commute thinking, this is a story of far-off Colombia. But you see, Escobar's influence wasn't confined by borders. He reached right across oceans, touching lands and people far and wide. From Los Angeles to London, from private yachts of the rich and famous to the back alleys of Europe's capitals. The white powder trail was everywhere. You might even say he was the original viral sensation, though far deadlier. As world leaders convened, desperately trying to curb this escalating crisis, the name Escobar echoed in hallowed walls more frequently than one would imagine. Was it just the drugs, or was there more? Espionage, political maneuvering, betrayals, a real-life thriller without the popcorn. Now, between you and me, have you ever wondered about the inner workings of such expensive empire? You have. Ah, splendid. Because that's where we headed next. But be warned, it's a bit more complex than your average Netflix series. Hope you're up for it. The splendors of the rich and the powerful. But as we're about to delve into, every empire, even one built on narcotics and terror, needs its loyalists. The men and women who, by choice or coercion, found themselves deep within Escobar's inner sanctum. Carlos, Escobar's right-hand man, once said, "In this business, trust is a luxury we cannot afford." But even in this treacherous world, bonds were formed, bonds that were sometimes stronger than blood. But here's where it gets intriguing and, between us, a tad juicy. Rivalries, love affairs, betrayals, and the uncompromising quest for power. Shakespeare would have had a field day. In the shadows of luxury, the drama was rife, and the stakes, life and death. Now, as we lean closer, intrigued, and perhaps slightly alarmed, I must caution you. As we peel back the layers, we find a narrative so intertwined with emotion and ambition, it's hard to discern where one ends and the other begins. Curious about the psyche of such individuals? That's a tale for another segment. Every story, no matter how grand or sinister, has an end, and so did Escobar's. But as you're about to see, ending are rarely simple, and legacies even more complex. In the blink of an eye, the empire crumbled. The man who once seemed invincible was brought down. But was it just a culmination of law enforcement efforts, or was there an internal betrayal? Mysteries abound. Medellin today is a testament to the resilience and rebirth, but the shadows of Escobar's legacy still linger. For some, he's a Robin Hood figure, for others, a tyrant. The lines between hero and villain blur, as they often do in tales of epic proportions. Now, dear viewer, as we close this chapter, one must ponder, how will history remember Pablo Escobar? And more importantly, how will you? Remember, in every story, especially ones as intricate as this, the final interpretation lies within you, the audience. So as you switch off your screen, the narrative continues in discussions, debates, and perhaps late-night contemplations. Leave your comment below. And if after all this drama you're still here, thank you, you're a legend. Take the chance to subscribe and give us a like, it means a lot to us. And if you love painting Escobar's portrait with us, albeit with blood, you'll love the next video we selected for you. See you in the next video. Keep seeking knowledge and stay curious, my friends.